What's up, everybody? Weston here with the Hidden Gibbon, and today we have a deck that I have been wanting to build in paper for about, a year and a half, and just haven't gotten around to. So to inspire myself to finally do that, I have built a deck tech around it, what I want to see in a deck. And this is for a card that I have literally never seen anyone play as a commander. It's pretty niche, it's pretty out there. But we have Shaun, father of Synths. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So who is Shaun? Shaun is a character from Fallout 4. He gets stolen from you as a baby when you are the main protagonist. And then he becomes essentially this mad scientist who creates synths, which are, essentially indistinguishable from people. So who is he as a card? Well, Shaun, father of Synths, is 3 generic and is it for a 3/4. And whenever you attack, not him, but whenever you attack in general, you may create a copy, tapped and attacking token. That's a copy of target attacking legendary creature you control other than Shaun, except it's not legendary. And it's a synth artifact creature in addition to its other types. And when Shaun leaves the battlefield, exile all synth creatures. Or synth tokens you control. So it's going to be kind of a weird aggro clone deck. So who are our creatures? You had to know that I was going to be a big old jerk. And we're going to try to maximize our effects here. So we do have some clones. And then we do have ways... our goal is to keep Shaun alive while we have some really dumb creatures doing really dumb things. So first we have Adric, Mathematic Genius from the Doctor Who set. I don't know anything about Doctor Who. My apologies on that, friends. But it's 2 generic and a blue. Copy target activated or triggered ability you control. You may choose a new target. So when you have that legend attack, copy that. So that way you get 2. And then you can sacrifice to essentially stifle activated or triggered ability. We have Alexios, Deimos of Cosmos. He is terrifying. You're going to make copies of him with Shaun. Protect your Shaun at all costs. He has Trample. Alexios Deimos of Cosmos attacks each combat if able, cannot be sacrificed, and can't attack its owner. This is really important. He can't be sacrificed. That's really good for when your opponents have him, right? And so then at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player gains control of it, untaps it, puts a 1/1 counter on it, gains haste until end of turn. He can attack you. Or he can't attack you. Sorry, misspoke there. So you're going to get copies of him with Shaun, who are then going to pass, and you're just going to murder your opponent's board. Just going to do it. You are going to become the thing that that men feared in the night when we lived in caves. That is for sure. Avatar Roku. Firebender. Whenever a player attacks, add 6 mana. 6 red mana until end of combat. You don't lose this mana as steps end. Which is pretty nice. You get an instant speed. But if you have Bergie and Electro, it doesn't go away at all. That's important. You can then have... and this says whenever a player attacks. Not you. A player. Anybody attacks. You get 6 red mana. Which if you have Bergie or Electro out, you're just going to have an absurd amount of mana. Then we have Bilbo, retired burglar. Look at him. When Bilbo, retired burglar, enters or leaves the battlefield, the ring tempts you. And whenever he deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. He's just a little guy. We have Bergie and Electro, like I said, to help you keep your mana. We have Chameleon, Master of Disguise. I am the Master of Disguise. He is turtly enough for the Turtle Club. I am an old millennial, and I have just dated myself with that reference. Oh my. You may have Chameleon enter as a copy of a creature you control, except his name is Chameleon. So copy your Shaun. So that way, if you have 2 Shauns, one of them is Chameleon, and then when, say, you attack with your Alexios, you get 2 more Alexios Deimos of Cosmos. Clone, so you can clone one of your non-legendary synth creature tokens. Cybermen Squad. Whenever I think Cybermen, I do not think Doctor Who. I think the Cybermen from Dragon Ball Z. Non-legendary artifact creatures you control have Myriad, Then we have Joyra, Weatherlight Captain. Since this is kind of a Legends Matter deck, right? Whenever you cast a historic spell, you draw a card. We have K9. As long as he's untapped, other legendary creatures you control have Ward 1. And you can tap him to tap target legendary creature can't be blocked this turn. You can also make yourself lots of K9s early in the game if you can get Shaun out fast. Katara, Waterbending Master, who's very strong. Lets you draw cards based on experience counters, and when she attacks, you draw a card for experience counters, and whenever you play a spell during an opponent's turn, you get an experience counter. Neheb, at the beginning of your post-combat main phase, add a red mana for each one life. Opponents have lost this turn. You will get to save this mana if you have those two out. Padim, artifacts you control have hexproof. Note this, by the way, that with this and this, your synths are artifacts. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control the artifact with the highest mana value or tied for the highest mana value, draw a card. Phyrexian Metamorph, you can copy something. Roaming Throne, double your triggers, right? Probably name your Shaun for this. Slicer, Hired Muscle, is like Alexios. He has double strike and haste, and at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, you may have that player gain control of Slicer until end of turn. If you do, untap Slicer, goad it. It can't be sacrificed this turn. If you don't, convert it. And then you get multiple copies of him. Spark Double makes a copy without it being legendary. Again, do this to your Shaun. Then we have Sun Quan, Lord of Wu, originally from Portal 3 Kingdoms. Creatures you control have horsemanship. They can't be blocked except by creatures with horsemanship. Yes. Synth Infiltrator. You may have Synth Infiltrator enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield except for it's a synth artifact creature in addition to its other types. We got the Locust God in here. Vizier of Many Faces, and Zuko, Firebending Master, who gets Firebending X, where X is the amount of experience counters, and whenever you cast a spell during combat, you get an experience counter. Sorceries. We got Sozin's Comet in here. We have Hate Mirage. Choose up to 2 target creatures you don't control. For each of those creatures, create a token that's a copy of those creatures. Those tokens gain haste. Exile them at the beginning of the next end step. Nanogene Convergence. Choose target creature you control. Each other creature becomes a copy of that creature until end of turn, except it isn't legendary. We have Overpowering Attack. This is silly. So say your opponents don't have anything out, and you have some junk that you don't need. Copy your Shaun, and then attack, and then your Shauns all trigger off of your other Shauns, right? And then create copy. Sorry. No, it doesn't work because Shaun is only Shaun. My bad. Do it with your Alexios. Overpowering Attack. Untap all creatures. You get an additional combat phase. We got Ponder. We got Quantum Misalignment, which is create a token. Rite of Replication, create lots and lots of tokens. Sozin's Comet. Traverse Eternity. World at War. Instance. We have ourselves Chaos Warp, Deflecting Swat, Desynchronization, which is return permanent that's not historic to its owner's hand. Pungify. We have Redirect Lightning. This card is really strong from the Avatar set. Use this card, buy this card, open this card, love this card. Return the Favor. Reverse Polarity. Counter all other spells. Switch each creature's power and toughness. Creatures can't be blocked. Then we have Trick Bind, which I hate that art. Thank you, Edie. There we go. Yeah. Then we have Stifle, Trick Bind in here, and Time Stop. Ooh, Time Stop's super important. If you make tokens that go away at the end of turn, you can hit Time Stop to keep them from being sacrificed. Because it removes everything from the stack. It exiles all spells and all abilities. So if the triggered ability happens for him when Shaun leaves the battlefield, so triggered ability, you just play Time Stop and end the turn. Trick Bind, yeah. Arcane Signet, Blade of Selves, to give Myriad, Helm of the Host at the beginning of combat on your turn. Create a token that's a copy, except for it's not legendary. Is it Signet? Lightning Greaves, Mirror Box, Mirror Gallery, so that way you can make some legendary things. Mithril Coat, Ruby, Sapphire, You have Silver Shroud costume, so that way a creature can't be blocked. Soul Ring, Swiftfoot Boots, Talisman of Creativity. We do have Aggravated Assault in here, which if you do get all that extra mana, you can just make infinite combats or near infinite combats. We have Breath of Fury, Enchanted Creature. Enchanted Creature deals combat damage to a player, sacrifice it. Attach Breath of Fury to a creature you control. If you do, untap all creatures you control. After this phase, there is an additional combat phase. So you can also use this to just have infinite combats because you attach it, say, to your Alexios, right? And then you, or like to like one of your non-legendary Alexios you attack, or one of your other non-legendary copies. You attack, you sacrifice it, you attach it to the new token that was just made, and then you untap and you do all the same thing. Rising of the Day, creatures you control have haste. Imposter Syndrome, whenever a non-token creature you control deals combat damage to a player, create a token that's a copy except not legendary. And Warstorm Surge. For lands, we are running a little bit more budgety land base. We are running the new comes into play tap Jumpstart Avatar lands, where they can be duels. We are running budget fetches in here. We do have Steam Vents, that sort of stuff. But overall, I am going to be building this one in paper when I get the time to do so. Time and money, I should say. The economy is due to. So it'll be a little while. But let me know what you think of Shaun, Father of Synths. For this deck, I did use Scryfall and a little bit of EDHREC because I have been stalled out on figuring out how to build him forever. I'm not even going to lie. So this is a deck where I had to have a lot of heavy lifting for me. Because like when I would look through my collection, things just weren't clicking for me. But as always, let me know what you think of the deck. I am Weston with the Hidden Gibbon, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.